did it via fax machine, via a thermal paper fax machine. And
Lost your picture.
I'm sorry, this is wearing me out. Let me just turn this off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell people that I have changed locations.
Talk a little bit about the you were doing a lot of stuff, doing your duet with Sandi and a lot of those kinds of experiences. Did you ever think when you were younger that you'd ever be doing stuff like that at that level with
No,
artists of that caliber? And
no, not at all. I mean, they called me and asked me if I wanted to do that, and I didn't even pretend to have to pray about it. I said, "Yeah, when can I be there?" I flew to Indy and drove up to Anderson. We did it in Bill Gaither's studio there
uh,
in a matter of an hour or two, and I went home that same day. Um, you know, again, you get it in your ear, and I think this goes back to those early days with the Continental singers. You get it in your ear of what sounds good.
right.
This sounds good. Not only does it sound good, it's powerful. Examine my love for people and all that. But I never dreamed I would go beyond a local kind of thing. I still play watercolor ponies. That came from a drawing on the fridge. My little boy put up there, and I'm not deep. I just look around and try to find things to inspire me, and I'm
What
I'm just very thankful.
what what's the story behind for such a time as this?
Oh man, friend of mine named Ken Rutgers played left offensive tackle for the Packers, Green Bay Packers, for 12 years, 11 years, on some really bad teams. And then this cat named Brett Favre comes in, and they go crazy. And they are going to the Super Bowl in New Orleans. I think it was probably 97. And he had to retire halfway through that before they knew they were going to the Super Bowl, obviously. He had to retire. His knees just quit. So he invited me to come with him to the Super Bowl. So we're sitting up in the stands in New Orleans, and the Packers are playing the New England Patriots. This is pre-Tom Brady days,
Yeah.
and they won, and they won the Super Bowl, and the players are going crazy. And my friend Ken is sitting by. He's a mountain of a guy, and we just saw him this summer in Oregon, and he has his arms crossed. He's looking kind of melancholy. I said, "Man, what's going on?" He said, and he just didn't speak because he had beaten his brains out for years out there and never really gotten the really golden ticket. And we went back to the hotel that night and sat up for hours, 2 or 3 in the morning. And what are you going to do now? I mean, these guys play competitive sports and they're the best in their neighborhood, they're the best in their school, then they move on to play at elite level, and then at mid 30s, early 30s, sometimes sooner, they're done. And we talked about what God had for him and what he was going to do. And now he has his PhD in sociology, and he teaches at a college out in Oregon. And just a great man, good friend, a real guy. Um, I thought about before we came on this interview, we could talk about the mountains and the valleys that all of us, you and everybody else. I talked to Chuck Bolte yesterday,
Mm.
and still one of the best laughs on the planet. God gave him the most hysterical laugh. And we could talk about the ups and downs he's been through. Um, because I never want, in a concert situation, I never want to present myself as being above it all, or not having to expose the downside of being a human being, not just being a Christian, but being a human being.
Yeah.
Blindside, the things that blindside you and that you don't always deal with well. And I've had my share of those. And still, God, in His mercy, I, if I'm breathing and you're breathing, we're here for something. And I don't want to waste it. I tell singers this all the time: sing like it's your last time. We sang a David Crowder song in church the other day called All My Hope. It's called All My Hope is in Jesus. Thank God my yesterday's, and people were singing. And I said, look, what if you never got to sing this again? Would you cheer at a Aggie football game louder? And, I don't want to make people feel intimidated or guilty, but what if you never, and I tell singers in groups and solos, sing it like you might not get another chance. And you don't want to be morose, but who knows? There's a sign out on the interstate out near my house here in Houston, and it tallies the deaths on Texas highways. It's thousands of people. And every time I see it, I think not one of them got up that day and said, well, it's been good. Honey, thank you. Checking out. Nobody. It's fragile, very fragile. I've dodged serious health issues. Chuck has. I'm sure others that you've talked to have. I can't wait till some of the mysteries are cleared up. I love the fact that God is mysterious. And with all of our resources and all of our internet searches we can do, that there are so many things that, I don't have to understand that. How can God, I don't know. I just know that I don't know. And thankful that I'm more aware of the Holy Spirit's presence in my life. Holy Spirit used to scare me too, because I came up during those early 70s Jesus movements where we'd go to prayer meetings and people were speaking in tongues and flopping down on the floor, and that frightened me. So the Holy Spirit was a difficult subject for me. I've never been more aware of his presence around me, around my house at night. To make a successful trip to downtown or anywhere, to just breathe a thank you. Thank you. And people take it for granted, and I don't want to.
Have you ever wished you could gift your life-changing Continental experience to someone else? Well, you can. Your monthly giving can make a huge impact for our teams all over the world. Did you know that this year, we'll have more than 20 Continental groups on the road, communicating in 7 different languages? The Continental story goes on, so keep writing your part of it by being on our support team. And our groups will say thank you in 7 different languages.
All over the world, God's Spirit